Do this. Well, hello there, everybody. That was quick. It's like boom, ba da. So, how are y'all? Welcome, everyone. It is Prosperity Day, Year of the Rabbit, which the Year of the Rabbit is the year of prosperity. So, kind of like the Jubilee, all debts forgiven, clean slate. So, welcome again. Thank you for your time. You come in, your time is the most valuable thing you have. It's the only valuable thing that we actually own, to speak of. I don't even know if we even own time, but we own our time. There you go. So, favor be upon us all, nothing missing, nothing broken. And again, we're prospering, baby. Be of service to others. Absolutely. And hey, it's your anniversary or birthday? High five. So good to see everyone. How are y'all? I mean, here, let me get over here as he hits this. And then he hits over here, and I then pull that up there. And yeah, I did that all at the same time. Impressive. So welcome everyone to the chat room. Mary, how are you doing? Fire. That went by pretty quick. So hello, welcome anyway. Scott, how you doing? Bonnie and Elderberry, what's up? Lost in Space, good to see you. I think Robert was in here. Chloe, hello. Let's see. Mary, how you been? Go, what's up? So trust you had a great Saturday and Sunday. I did. New Yoda. Lori, good to see you. Hello. It was a beautiful, beautiful strong week. I am going to end it on the weekend. Hell no, I'll be on the power end. That's it. I'm going to be on the power end. So yeah. So got my tea. Again, most amazing thing, the tongue. You have to have it to speak, or at least to speak the way we do. Tongue is so represented. It's a metaphor for truth or lie. Split tongue, always associated with the serpent. Boy, did I time that right in there. Oh, come on. You got to give me at least a thumbs up on that one. That was pretty cool. Paul, Joe, good to see you. And Jargo. But DC, what's happening? Good to see you, my friend. Stephanie, way to go, John. Hello. But anyway, the tongue. I mean, it can bring us such pleasure, and then it can bring us such pain. When I was a kid, the practice in American culture was, and you think about this thing, I mean, I'm sure our parents did not realize what they were actually doing. But remember, a punishment would be like standing in the corner if you happened to say a cuss word. You had the old soap in the mouth. Remember that? It happened to me. Yeah. I can say this, that Palmolive, they made it in the soap bars, because back in the day, they didn't have lotions and what have you. Well, that really tasted bad. What was another one that really tasted bad? Lava soap. That was one that really sucked. As I'm sitting here recanting that story, I'm reliving it. Yeah. I don't know about how many of you. Hey, Danny, what's up? Purgatory Traveler, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Carol, hello. Joyce, good to see you. Emperor Rex, Grandma. I'm telling you. Oh, man. Gilbert says soap with lye. I mean, suck. Woo. I do remember that. What were they thinking? Well, it left an impression upon you, because it was like, oh, crap. Woo. Anyway, get off on these little tangents. I hope you enjoyed the scenery as I pulled over to the side and went on the little side path, and now we're back on the main stream. So lots going on. Lots going on. By the way, I got this book, and wow, this is really a cool book. I don't have this in PDF. I don't even know, maybe in electronic form. I haven't seen it. But if you happen to be able to acquire a copy, this is really a great book. It's Herbal Magic, and it's a journal. Spells, rituals, and writing prompts for the budding green witch. Hey. Season of the Witch. I got Donovan in my head. But I like the way that this book is laid out. I mean, gives you wonderful insights to the power and magic of herbs, what each one can do, what it's best used for. Gets into, the signs. For instance, if you're like a Gemini, what is Geminis? Thought I saw them in here. Yeah, there it is, Gemini. So Gemini is anise and dill, lavender, parsley. If you make a tuna fish salad, add dill to it. Oh, just fabulous. Anyway, Gemini plants invite calm. They feel friendly, gentle, charming, adaptable, and sometimes curious. Call on Gemini energies to counter nervousness, inconsistency, and indecision. That's just a cool book. I mean, then you have different days. Monday is the moon. Isn't that interesting? We just had the lunar moon holiday, the Chinese New Year. So the herbs are gardenia, jasmine, moonwort, myrtle, poppy, verbena, white rose. Monday's lunar tendencies give you time to reconnect and work with your emotional depths, including clairvoyance, cleansing, dreams, emotional healing, family, guidance, intuition, peace, and truth. Well, far out. I can get into that. So it's just a delightful book. It's aiding me in as we get ready for spring to arrive here in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm going to be growing my own herbs. And they talk about in this book, and it's really cool. It's Theodosia Kornith is the author. She writes with, I like the style. And the book is a journal. It's designed that in each section that you read, subsequently, if you're conducting spells. And I was telling my wife last night, I said, I understand why people feared what we know is just simply wise women, witches. And no doubt the gents were in on it as well. But these pagans, these country folks, they were in union with the earth. And subsequently, they were also in communion with the plant kingdom. It talks about in here that we should approach, each time, even if you're like, I love salads, And the more the variety of vegetable, the more I like it. But and they say that it pleases the plant kingdom, plants, when we enjoy what they produce. And there's been enough experiments done that plants respond to human emotions. If the house is stressed out all the time, I doubt if plants are really going to do well in that environment. But if you have them in an environment where they're getting that sunshine, they're getting just enough moisture that where they can, with the moisture, they take that moisture and they use it for their purpose of transporting minerals, thoughts. Whoever thought that a plant has a thought? They do. Reminds me, if any of you are in the southeast United States, you know what kudzu is? Yeah. You know that they have that. What was it, that movie, The Day of the Trifles? Was that it, when the plants were able to actually get up and, and they grew appendages to walk? Yeah. Anyway, love this book. In here, she teaches you how to channel with the plants, connecting with them. There are all plants are magical. Some are more endued than others, but nevertheless, they have that within them. And again, as I told Lynn, this is going to be fun. It gives you a whole new approach to, hey, talking to the plants, man. I'm out here talking in communion with the plants. Oh, yeah. So, what's up? London man, good to see you. Danny says, for human plasma. I'm just dropping into the, hey, Ann, good to see you as well. Sean, we are plants, yeah. And if we've discussed this here in many different ideas, theologies, thoughts, that Earth itself is nothing more than a giant plant. Would it meet that requirement, wouldn't it? Yeah. Planet. Well, it's a plant. So anyway. Boom. Pyramid 7, how you doing? Good to see you as well. So going also, thank you for the idea of the crop circles. We're going to look at that. Crop circles and sigils. There's a connection there. Hello. No doubt. Boy, got a lot going. So I'm going to be covering some pretty good things in the days to come. Oh, on Wednesday, I will be having Ryder Lee and Chris Matthews on. Ryder from Raised by Giants and Chris from Forbidden Knowledge News. That's going to be a fun hour. Tomorrow I'll be with Trina, working out, being a guest with a gentleman over in England. So looking forward to that as well. So yeah, got a few more invites out there. That's all good. So we're going to be talking about something that's right in front of us, and there's a tie-in here. So just wait for it. You'll probably see it as I build upon it. But some of the things that we're going to be covering in other topics, here's one. Where are you going to live when you die? I mean, think about it. Where are you going? I mean, I don't know if we were conscious of what it was required. I did that about 4 years ago. The birthright, the right of the birth. It is a right. It's a ritual. We all went through it. Even those who went through, like they would say, a C-section. It's still, it's the blood. And we are in the death realm. We come into this realm through the ritual of the blood rite, and that is the birth canal. And as it's been pointed out here many times, the interesting thing about birth is that it's a one-way ticket, much like death. You can't go back and go through the rebirthing process. It would kill you, what it would do. It's an amazing thing when you think about it. It really is. It's mind-blowing when you just think that everything that is somehow required, I mean, that just lends to itself that says that there is a higher intelligence, no doubt, because someone thought this up. I mean, it's a bloody rite. It's a ritual. Oh, man. And much like birth comes in this way, you know, where's death? Is death that away, or is death that away? I mean, do you think it's this away or that away? And we're going to get into that question. I mean, if you didn't have a human, which is in this case the mother, there to care for you, your odds of making it here is going to be very limited. And it got me thinking. I was meditating one afternoon, and I wrote this down. I said, people don't think about where they're going. Now they'll tell you, well, yeah, I'm going to go to heaven. Well, who told you we're going to heaven? Well, it's written in that book. Well, who wrote the book? You know, and then you start getting them in, and they don't dig that, because it's so much more easier just to simply be, you know, don't make waves, man. You know, dude, you're either going to go here or you're going to go there. Really? What happens if you swing both ways, baby? I'm just saying. I mean, you're going to go live in the house? You're going to go live in I mean, what is it? Try to define that for me in the chat room. How do you define this next? Where are you going to go live? I mean, I don't know. I mean, they say that we choose our vessels, our parents. I don't know. I don't remember. And with some of us, you're going, really? So wait a minute. I made that decision. And then again, I don't know if it's like a freaking lottery. You know, it's like a slot machine. Ding, 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 ding. You know, you almost got the perfect parents. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, yeah. I mean, so where are you going to go and live? Who are you going to go live with? Do you even live with anyone? Now, of course, that's the assuming that there is something after this. Here's another one we'll be covering. So is there sin in the spirit realm, the ethereal realm, the auric realm? You know, where all the spirits are at. Is there sin there? I mean, are we going into what? This perfect environment? I don't know. Here's another one. Are there babies in the afterlife? I mean, you watch a number of these paranormal, and you may have had the experience where the spirit that is speaking or even manifesting in an apparition full body form are children. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? And if, let's just say, if this is true, that somehow there's this transference that how you are here is going to be represented over there, no matter where you are in the cycle over on this side, why would there be children out there? The freakiest one I saw here recently was the security guard down in Alabama and the kid. I mean, the kid looked to be, 5, 6 years old. And it was a kid. The body was a little weird, but so when this security guy got out of the car and was walking up to the child started running. Well, that's weird. And you can see that he's got one of these GoPros on, recording this whole thing, and he's yelling at the kid, stop, stop, stop. And the kid then takes a sharp left turn right near this mausoleum. I mean, and the guy was like right on top of him. And as he turned that corner, that kid was gone. Gone. So, and I love this. So, is there sin on the other side? If there is murder taking place on the other side, which appears there is, appears to be a freaking battle. Galactic. I mean, if there is this war in heaven, the firmament, then how the hell is that perfect? I mean, if think about it. So, Divine Empress, how are you doing? Good to see you. And exactly, she said, YouTube just asked me how satisfied I was with the notification of this show. Well, cheers. There we go. I'll just say that. Well, thank you, darling. That just made me laugh. Hey, Power Lady, good to see you. I mean, folks, you got to talk about this. Someone wrote me and said, you ought to go and do like this tour. I don't think so. I mean, these are the type of things that people don't want to really think. I'm going to do a show on this. I may even bring this up on Wednesday when with Ryder and Chris. I'm really looking forward to that because they are the next generation coming up. And it's interesting because if this extends way out, there's a few of us here that, who knows if we're going to be around to see it. But anyway, yeah. Here's one. Do we really want to know the future? To me, the best clairvoyant would be the one who could give me the exact second that I'll make the transition completed. Because technically we're all in transition. It's just at some point it accelerates. And it must do it on the subatomic level. And there's something going on. And anyway, I digress. But, it's that question. If you went into a person who really had the gift, and if angels really or demons exist on the other side, would you want to know? Because, that would give you validation real quick. I think if we're all honest, the answer to that is, hell no. I don't want to know I paid for the ticket over here. I want the full worth of the ticket. So, yeah, that's all I can say there. But these are the things that I ponder. The way I kind of look at it is, I don't know how long I had to prepare before. And that's beginning to assume that I'm waiting for this interaction to take place between the two that brought the portal open. And I don't know. Again, is it my soul or is it my spirit? And which one is which? Because if it's my soul, then is this a new soul? Is it like, a complete blank slate? Or is my spirit somehow this observer that I'm connected to? Gaza, by the way, I'm going to answer your email this afternoon. Love the email, brother. I got some ideas for you. But anyway, I mean, it's one of those questions, because obviously in the transition out of this death realm, this is what this realm is, it is the death realm, then I truly hope, and trusting that it's a little different over there. That if it's true that I can carry my memories with me, because my memories are what I identify myself as. I could be in the presence of 1 trillion other spirits, but guess what? What makes me unique, and this could be said for all the rest of them, is that I experienced what I experienced. No one else did. Now, there may have been 1 billion others that at the moment experienced the same moment, but it's still technically just me. I'm having a deja vu moment. Wow, very strange. Very deep. Okay. Graham says, spirit versus soul took me the longest time to separate. What I settled on is spirit is the record of this one life, while soul is the union of all my spirits. That's interesting. It's as you go down, there's something going on now, and it's not just here in this country, it's others, but we had in the last 4 days, 3 different people lost loved ones due to sudden death. Just boom, gone. And Lynn and I, when we were talking, and she said, so what do you think happens in a situation like that? I said, what do you mean? She says, I know that most people don't think about what really the other side is. They're too busy engrossed in this side, this life. And that's part of the ticket. Yeah, I mean, it's part of the process. We love it, good or bad. And I said, well, I think most of them are in a state of shock. I was told somewhere once that it takes us for some, they adapt very quickly, and meaning on the other side, it's still a rush, and you're going to have that effects. I mean, if atoms can, if there's some sort of a process that we can't define, and that we may say spirit or soul, because we're talking, non-tangible physicality. So somewhere in this process, and is that one study we covered here, where scientists now see at the moment of death, in that there's a gland that opens up in our brain. Some speculate that this is activated at the moment that physical death begins to consume the body, and that's primary lack of oxygen. And it's a question that I often thought about. So is that where the soul or the spirit is at? Is that where consciousness is now collective within this gland? And apparently it's active as that separation takes place. And would that be the door, the pathway that then would lead to the other side? Run from the light, Carolyn, run from the light. But anyway, that's all we can say, huh? So, just some thoughts. So, as I was doing the thing that I do, the thought hit me, and I was reading something, and I said, holy crap. I mean, really, holy crap. Let me show you what I mean. I don't know if you saw the slide that I made for this graphic, but I got it from, this is, of course, the Sistine Chapel. And look at this, folks. You see, we've been told that there was a single serpent that was involved in this coitus thing with Eve. May have been Lilith. But anyway, and was the soul one. Because I think it says, doesn't it say, and the serpent was the most cunningest of all the beast of the field, something like that? Well, if it's cunning, then it's obviously cognitive of itself. I mean, I don't know how you could be cunning if you don't have a sense of self. But look at this. Now, I'll get into the colored one. Here we go. Michelangelo was painting something here, and this is in the Sistine Chapel. This is part of the story, and this particular painting vignette is the temptation of Adam and Eve. But, well, it's what's really odd here is that there's two serpents. Can you see it? Look at the snake. Look at and it's not Lucifer, it's not Satan, but let's just give him, it ain't George, I don't know. So let's just go for the story's sake saying, all right, so this is Lucifer. The problem is, if you look at it, and many of you are now seeing it, there's two snakes here. That is weird, because as you look at this and the two snakes for the Carticus, that's healing, physical and spiritual. And of course, there never was a human crucified. It was actually a serpent that was crucified. And the serpent is Christ. The serpent is the savior of humanity. Because there may be another narrative staring right at us that and this is the Sistine Chapel. As you can see, the creation of Eve coming out of Adam's side, which is really interesting because, Michelangelo painted her as a whole being. Now, this gets really interesting because if you think about it, how was Eve created? I mean, wait a minute. We're talking about animating a full body, probably weighs about 120, maybe 100, I don't know, pounds. And, fully functional. I mean, you think about the billions of things that have to be going on in the body in order for a body to be alive. But as you can see, she's literally stepping out of the nothingness, or what would be considered Adam's side. Strange, I know, but let's get back to this one. So with this reality now, it becomes very interesting because we can see this angel by the representation of the sword. We can actually see this angel's feet. So again, we're left here as to where is the second serpent. And so this got me into, by the way, reading other papers that I went out and started reading on this. And it's very interesting. It's one that's not spoken about in churches, obviously. It ruins the whole motif. I'm just telling you, it just does. We can't acknowledge that shit, Wayne. We keep telling you because you blow the whole story up. Because then books like this, well, the reptilian origin of humanity, Ashroth, which is really more reptilian. Oh, did we get into the reptilians themselves? And then we get into the Lilith thing, and then we get into the ancient serpent gods. Oh, crap. And again, it's the Greek coin that is still the one that people can't figure out, because in that Greek coin, it is the crucifixion is depicted, but it's depicted with a snake, the serpent. So, what the hell is going on here? Because something's happening. I mean, if Michelangelo, and then I always think about these cats, were they eating some really good mushrooms? I mean, they had to be channeling something here. This is coming from his mind. That's some weird stuff. That's all I got to say. It's two serpents. Huh. Wow. I mean, your mind just starts racing through here. Hey, Esley, what's up? Flight Risk, what's going? How you doing? So, I mean, y'all are, thank you for the like button. So, Honey Ann, good to see you. You don't think the Nakash was a reptile man? They were here. And just think about the story. Now, the serpent was the most cunningest of all the beasts of the field. Okay. So my question is, how'd the beast get into the garden? I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, apparently they walked. They were bipedal. Okay. I mean, the whole tail thing, but how'd they get into the garden? More importantly, you think about this, well, that's implying that they were apparently there before we came along. Sapiens. Now, I don't know if the Neanderthals were partying, man, and they were, exchanging this kind of stuff. I don't know. Because, I'm thinking, well, the story is a myth, but yet there's substance to the story. To me, it certainly sounds like, we are more and more an experiment. It's just the only thing I can come up with. I mean, I can only imagine this scenario taking place. All right, so you got the serpent beings. They're intelligent. Apparently, they're smart. They're strategists. Look up the word cunning and look at the other associations to what a person who's cunning is what? Well, they're highly intelligent. A dumbass is not cunning. No. So if the serpent beings were like really smart, well, it seems to me like they would probably have a system set up because there ain't no man around. At least not us, sapiens. And can you just imagine they're seeing this spaceship there? Because I really am convinced this garden was an artificial, almost like what we would see in Star Trek, a holodeck. But we're talking huge. Has the ability to come down with its own force field and its own environment. You know, in fact, as I'm recalling, there was a Next Generation episode where it says, "Who watches the Watchers?" And it was basically this scenario that there were people from the Federation that had a laboratory, an observatory set up watching a primitive form of man, all connected to this. So again, what the hell's going on? Something going on. You know, Deborah, I was just like, but see, that wouldn't make sense, though. I mean, and then that's implying, by the way, how long was this Adam character here? How many animals were there? I mean, if this being Adam was that smart, because at one point he's like really super smart, and at another point he's just really dumb. So he names all the animals. How long does that take? What is that, like a 10-year assignment? What do you do? Sit your ass down on a log and say, "Oh, fuck, man." And it goes on as far as I can see. You know, I mean, okay, maybe that was supposed to be, you know, the way it was, you know. Hey, Regina, good to see you. Anyway, Grace, what's up? The stuff, I mean, there's something wrong here. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me see what else, because this is all really tied in together. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, get there. So here we go. So y'all remember the book, the Alien Races books? I mean, I've got a number of them over on my shelf. By the way, just a little divergence here. We're going to get into this. So imagine this: the Catholic Church is probably one of the longest lived mystery schools known to mankind. And the fact of the matter, you and I we're not considered worthy enough to be allowed to be exposed to such knowledge. We are a slave race. We are indebted to the entity or entities of this realm. This thing called the Catholic Church, and all you have to do is just go inside anyone, St. Peter's Basilica. I mean, there's just a number of places. I've shown you how the Pope's reception hall is the form of a serpent. And this is probably, and I'll just come out and say it, is probably the only true mystery school left All other mystery schools do not have the documents that these beings did. What we now know is that this one organization controls the knowledge of mankind. Now, anyway, this is an interesting paper dealing with this fact. And folks, many of us here, we don't find that a stretch. We don't find that to be conspiratorial. It's just a fact. How many miles of documents, history, books, maps, statues, artifacts does this one organization have that it will never let mankind see? This one organization is most likely alien in its foundation and in its construct of a physical hierarchy. Truth be known, we'll never know what they know. But anyway, I just want to throw that out there because there is no other place on planet Earth. You could say Google, huge data center, Microsoft, Facebook. Yeah. But, Google is never going to get its sorry ass inside there. They won't allow it. You could say, as I read recently from someone that was over there, there's some shit happening in that place, man. And it's got a bad mojo to it. Bad mojo. I mean, we're talking negative. Woo! I mean, it is like a new tenant moved in, and they brought the cockroaches with them. So anyway, we're just never going. They're never going to tell us. So getting back to the alien now, so this is, I believe, Nuremberg, 15th century, documented of I don't know which ET was involved. Don't know, much about any because I wasn't there. Apparently to be human wasn't too good. They said that when these craft would crash, that people suddenly began, in many cases, had this black patches all over them with pustules, and they died, in pain. But this is you talk about close encounters of the third kind. Holy crap. I mean, Steven Spielberg probably got his idea from this. Because something was happening up in them skies, and there are others that, and if you look at the scale, look at the size of what I call the, in Star Wars, this would be, what was it? The Galactic Cruiser? Damn big ship. In fact, it seems like a lot of these were pretty big ships. Change the sun. So anyway, and we've talked about this. I mean, if the story holds out, in which it appears that it has, that and now more and more you have governments that are, they're divulging their files. It's like, all right, the secret's out. We now know that there were, in fact, not one, but depending on how you look at the story, hundreds of UFOs that crashed. In this period, when they began to bombard the Earth, it became very clear. And this one in here is the Russian files. You know, when Putin came into power, they opened up the KGB did because KGB doesn't exist anymore. Or do they? But we know this, that Russia had their Roswell. It was very clear that there was this period of time, particularly right after the Second World War, that, well, depending on who you believe, a theory says that these UFOs were purposely crashed. They were purposely crashed to make sure that the country that they crashed in, that they would make sure that this was going to be taken into the lab. Part of the strategy is that this is where the takeover, the terraforming began. And, you know, again, many of the supposed off-worlders, maybe they're not so off-world, maybe they are more inner world, are reptilian. Definitely many that would look like we would call the children with black eyes. Some would say that these are the hybrids. I think this has been ongoing for a very long time. I don't know if we're really dealing with other beings from other galaxies. If we are, it's a horrifying story for us, because it would appear that these reptilians are everywhere, not just here in our solar system, in our part of the Milky Way, but apparently in other parts of the Milky Way. Now, depending on how you look at this, it would appear that the vast majority of life off of this planet is reptilian. The Abrahamic God is reptilian, has reptilians surrounding it. And these are what we would call the top archangels in their representation. Again, it would imply that us, Homo sapiens, I can't help but not think, and we're going to look at this, well, time isn't going to allow, but we'll get more into it, with Ariel. Now, before we get out of this, and as again, all this could be completely fictional, or all of it could be true. Maybe it's a portion of both. I don't know. Haven't met them. But it would appear again that we are dealing in a situation that us humans, it's hard to find any of us out there. I mean, yikes. And if we are truly nothing more than a DNA depot, that's all we are. That's our only purpose. And the afterlife, they could care less. They're about the here and now, right here. They don't debate what our soul is or our soul isn't. Because if you look at this, the question has to be, do they have a soul? Do they have a spirit? Don't know. But here is a thought. By the way, this will be getting into Ariel's book, because there's some connections that got to be made. So as we exit out of our little get together, I want to bring up one last thought when we deal with this picture here. And I want to put the thought, proper it forth, that what if we're looking at a rescue mission that went bad? What if these reptilians were actually on a rescue mission to rescue our species and in order for them to escape? And then you craft the story, on the other side, well, this was the banishment. But what if this was a rescue mission? And what if the reptilians are not the bad guys? What if we are more like them? We know this. There's too many similarities in our bodies. So what if that is the case? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, possible. Because if you find there's inversions in the storyline in which there's numerous, then why would this be exempt? Why would this event, however it went down, something went down? But what if it was really just that? What we're really witnessing here was an attempted rescue, because, it was after this that the Serpent, man, they got trashed. Cursed, no less. Don't know. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how Lucifer, the light bearer, is the bad guy. I mean, I'm sitting here on the Group W bench and I'm trying to think, well, light is good. I mean, light, and it aids greatly in the dark. Light is representative of all knowledge. So why is that bad? I don't know. So, heavy shit going on. Hey there, Ryder Lee. How are you doing, my friend? Like I said, Ryder and Chris will be on Wednesday, the live program. Grace says, anything is possible. What if we were banished from the garden and we got to get ourselves back to the garden? Anyway, which could have been a spacecraft. Bingo. That's what I contend it was. I mean, if you got that kind of knowledge, you could have a spacecraft that would be 100 miles in size, diameter, radius. I mean, space, you're not limited by how big your craft is. That's all I got to say. Dream big, build it big, baby, build it big. I mean, space is a lot of emptiness, or so they say. But anyway, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. But I can tell you this. Boy, the more and more you look around and you go, how did I miss that? I mean, how did I miss that? Yeah. Hey, Scotty boy, what's up? Mark, Jason Walker, you're absolutely right. He says, it's getting harder to tell the difference between real life and a dream. And when you're dreaming, yeah. I think the analogy that we're all asleep They've captured us. We think we're in this form. And evidence of that is that the time that we have some clarity, and because of the fact that we must sleep, there has to be this chemical dump. And yeah. Life is but a dream. Ain't that the truth? Yeah. So, Danny, I love that. All right, folks. Well, if that wasn't food for thought, I don't know what is. I mean, I thought the kitchen did a great job today. It was quite the banquet, and yeah, stimulating. I'm telling you, stimulating. So and Mary wins, that's true, but it's but a dream. Think about that. That child's limerick, you know. Yes. But that's for children. Didn't it say somewhere that unless you had the mind and the attitude of a child, that you don't get to go to heaven? Isn't that a clause I read? You must be like a child, childlike faith. Why? Because children believe in the impossible. Nothing's impossible. Yeah. Them clues, they be everywhere. All right, folks. Thank you, Melissa. I just, just want to bring us up, talk around the water cooler. There's some strange shit going on. That's all I got to tell you. And then you can walk out into the straight world, and they look at you like, what planet did you come from? That's when you respond back, I'm trying to figure that out. Thank you. So, all right, everyone. Well, I'll see you tomorrow with Miss Trina. In the interim, have yourself a fabulous prosperity day, and enjoy it. And thank you for being here. We move on. I mean, that creation thing, if it's dynamic, it's still happening. Yeah. I always get the vision of a comet. All right. Much love, everyone. Until we see each other